Hello, 605 students. I am Rebecca Wilson. I am your professor for this semester. I have tried for about a week and a half, 2 weeks now, to create this video, and through some issues of my own technological issues and some others that have to do with technology. I'm really good at technology, I promise. I haven't been able to get out a video to you. So here it is. I wanted you to see the face with the name and with the voice. I'm actually at my office at work, finishing up a long day, but athletics were canceled because of rain. So wanted to get this information out to you and to talk about the semester that we're going to spend together. So I have already sent out information regarding the first and second week readings, and I've successfully done those videos. I just don't do a lot of videos where you see my face. And so I recorded one where all you did was see my face, and I forgot to do the screen share. Then I recorded one that you didn't see my face at all. Once again, had some issues, but here I am and wanted to talk to you about different things that we're going to work on this semester. And I know you are excited that this is your last semester in the program. I hope that you have all applied for graduation. If you have not, you need to contact the registrar's office and do that immediately. Even though you all don't participate in graduation, you need to apply for graduation so that they will process your certification information when the semester ends. So let's get started. I'm going to pull up some information for you to see. So this is Blackboard, and I have mine on the student preview mode so that you don't see all of the university mess that I see. So you can see the introduction to me, and then there are these wonderful things on the left side. You can peruse as you would like. The add-on licensure process, 3-semester, it has information on there you could look at. The peer review information, it has information on there, and it also has peer review teams. Towards the end of the first week, we actually had a couple students join our class, so they are added on there. My experience has been in working in this program that even though peer review teams only need 3 members, it actually helps if you have 4 or 5. Well, we had 19 students that registered for the class. So it didn't work out to have 4, because then we would have a 3-person team. So we have 1 4-person team and 3 5-person teams. And I decided to use all Atari names for the team names. And that is my kind of 80s humor. You also have, as a part of the peer review process, the forms have changed, and the process is sort of changed this semester. I know changed it the last semester you're in there. So if you want to watch a YouTube video that Dr. Neal, who's the person over the MELS program, what he recorded, please do so. Your peer review forms will not be turned into me, and we're just going to turn them in all together. I believe it's week 14, so it won't be until the end of the semester. So just hold on to them. Then you have the syllabus, and also something I call the weekly activities. So here is the syllabus. If I can pull it up and get it on the screen, there it is. You have my contact information. I do check my Gardner Webb email. I am a current active working principal, so it's very difficult for me sometimes to check email other than my work email during the day. And goodness knows I do receive a ton. In fact, right now I have 522 unread email, which is really not me. But that when you'll find out about where I work in a little while and throughout the semester, but when you work in a building of over 100 plus teachers, then email tends to rack up. I've also listed right here for you my personal cell phone number. I do keep that with me at all times during the day. The problem is I get a horrible signal in my building. So you may be able to call and leave a message. I may not be able to answer the call because I don't have a signal, but it's enough for the call to go through. Text message usually is the best way if you need to get in touch with me during the school day. It lists the 3 books, and I do refer to them by the first name So we have the Glickman, the Hersey, and the Rath book. We will be doing a little bit out of all of them, but this Rath book, the Strengths-Based Leadership, will be the one that we spend a lot of our time in. So the next couple of pages have just basic policies and practices for the university. I'm so sorry. So those are things that you can read at when you have a moment. Then it starts to get into the pacing calendar of when things are due. Now, your clinical coach is the person who oversees your tasks, but I did pace them out to each week. And the clinical coach that is assigned to the class is Dr. Robertson, and I believe he is out of the country until the end of September. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll try to help as much as possible. Then the rest of the syllabus goes through the different tasks that you are to accomplish this semester. And I'm just kind of scrolling through them quickly. Here is my suggestion and what I tell any of my students. You can read all of that information at the front part of the task, and that information is important. But I always tell students, start at the rubric. You have to score proficient in order to complete the program, but so I always tell students, look at the accomplished column and read the action verbs in the accomplished column. And that, to me, is the easiest way to figure out what exactly are we going to be looking for, what exactly is the university going to be looking for in your different tasks. So you can scroll through there and read that at your leisure. Please, don't rush to the very immediate time to read it. That was a joke. It also has the peer information that is also listed in the peer review section. I also broke out the weekly topics, and I'm trying something new this semester where I'm only releasing 4 weeks at a time. And my plan is at the end of this second week that I will release at least 2 more weeks. So you'll always have 4 weeks out there. Trying to do something different where don't teach directly out of the textbooks. You'll see in week 5 that I'm going to bring in some articles out of educational leadership that have some great meaning and really can help us with preparing you to be the best administrator that you want to be. So you can see that I do color code things. That's kind of my organizational style. And our weeks are Monday through Sunday. So when things are due, they will be due Sunday evening. A lot of times I will say it's due Monday, because if you're like me, I tend to do a lot of my work on the weekends. So I will release weeks 5 and 6 at least by this weekend, if not more than that. And you will always get an email stating that these new weeks are out there. Then discussion board. This is a very important part of Blackboard. This is where you upload your different tasks and your peer review of your classmates' tasks so that everybody can see everybody else's. There are some peer team policies that need to be created. I did put for the second one here, peer team policies. This is where you can upload those. If you put it under the candidate contact information, that is perfectly fine as well. Then tools, help, pacing calendar, program completion checklist, task streams tools, all that you can look at. But class session 1, so the way I've organized the Blackboard folder for class session 1 is the way the rest of them typically are organized. It will start out with the week 1 readings and assignments, or the readings and assignments for that week. You can tell that I have attached the PowerPoint presentation for the week 1 readings. As soon as this video is recorded correctly, which this is going to be the time it's recorded correctly, I will put the link, YouTube link to the introductory video there. And then you have the readings for the week and the week 1 readings video, and that is me kind of talking through the PowerPoint presentation from the readings. The week 1 assignments, and sometimes it has different links there, like some hyperlinks Then you will see, you can tell when something is an assignment because it has this little ruler and pencil. So the first assignment is the Know Your Why assignment. This is what verifies the enrollment into this course, since it is an online course. And then there are some other readings that are linked up here. Class session 2, once again, has the readings, it has the PowerPoint, it has the different readings, has the YouTube video, and you can see the only assignment that is due week 2 are your different tasks. There are some other things also for you to read. Class session 3, I will be uploading the video and the PowerPoint for this in the next couple of days, but you can see what's supposed to be read and what your assignment is. And then there's some other things for you to read. And then class session 4, you can see that there are no assignments. So as I release the different weeks, you will see down this left that it'll say class session 5, 6, and so on. So wanted to just give you a walk through Blackboard. I mentioned the peer review teams. Here they are, and it does tell you who you are, whose artifacts you are reviewing. So if you're number 1, you're going to be reviewing the artifacts or the tasks of student number 2 and number 3 in your group. And I also included the Gardner Webb email. So let me tell you a little bit about who I am so that you know just a little bit about me, and I look forward to getting to know a little bit about you. So I grew up in Ohio, and my father was military and my mother was a first grade teacher. I taught middle school in Ohio for 2 years, then moved to North Carolina, taught North Carolina for 5 years. Taught North Carolina for 3 years, totaling 5 years of teaching in the classroom. And they were all in middle school. I then became an assistant principal in a high school for 6 years. Then I was a principal in a middle school for 8 years. You'll hear a lot about my experience at that middle school. It's a very at-risk middle school. When I took over as principal, the principal that was leaving was actually being demoted. That school was in a very rural, poor, just different. And now I'm in my 2nd year of a principal at a high school. I work in Gaston County here in North Carolina, and the high school that I am currently working is Ashbrook High School. We are the largest school in our county. As of today, we had 1,355 students enrolled. This was also the same high school where I was an assistant principal. So it's been rather interesting coming back after being gone for 8 years. I always say I had an 8-year hiatus. And the school where I was principal for 8 years was Bessemer City Middle School. And if you know anything about the Charlotte area or Gaston County, you know that Bessemer City is the farthest west in Gaston County, right next to Kings Mountain. And it is of great poverty, great substance abuse, great mental health. I loved my time there when I was principal for 8 years. It was one of the hardest assignments that I've ever been given. But when I first took over that school, it was a dangerous place. Nobody liked each other. The kids didn't like each other. The teachers didn't like the kids. Kids didn't like the teachers. Teachers didn't like each other. I mean, it just was a very dysfunctional place. And when I left there, this is my 2nd school year not there, that place, we were, as a staff, able to build that place into a very high-functioning, exceeding expected growth for several years middle school. One that instilled great love and great care, great relationships with those middle school students, yet holding them to extremely high expectations. Then I was able to come back to Ashbrook High School, which if anyone knows a little bit about Ashbrook High School, we are a very diverse high school. I call us the 30-30-30 school. We have 30-something minority, 30-something% Caucasian, and 30-something% other. We're almost like the United Nations at times. You will see anything and everything. This high school has great tradition. In a lot of the practices that we do are steeped in tradition. It is a high-functioning high school, even though the socioeconomic status does not necessarily indicate it should be a high-functioning high school. We are having to deal with the same things a lot of schools are having to deal with dropouts and kids dropping out because of life activities, whether it's legal trouble, whether it's they think they're grown so they move out of their parents' house and then school becomes secondary. We're having to deal with all of that. We're also having to deal with high stakes testing. But all in all, we have staff members that have worked almost their entire careers here, which you don't find very often. And we are, I think, the only school in Gaston County that has, we are the school that has the largest number of alumni that work here. And we have generational alumni. I mean, we have teachers here that were students here, actually students here when I was here before as assistant principal. That's rather interesting. But also teachers that teach here whose parents were also teachers here. This building, we are in our 46th year open. So we are getting to that age of that generational employees. So I personally went to Clemson University, graduated with a degree in elementary education and early childhood education. Then I graduated from Winthrop University with my master's in educational leadership. And then I'm a proud graduate of Gardner-Webb University with my doctorate in educational leadership. Yes, by the way, go Tigers, national championship. Let's see if we can do it again this year. All right, so this is my family on the left. You will see that is me. That is my ugly brother. That's Chewbacca. This is my sister-in-law. She's the one that puts up with this one. And then this is my mother. These two strapping young gentlemen, now this picture is about 2 years old, so you have to apologize for them looking so young. The one in front of my brother, one on the left, is Gabriel. He just turned 10. He is in the 4th grade. The one on the right here in front of my sister-in-law, his name is Asher, and he is 7.5. He will tell me we have to celebrate his half birthday next month. And they are just absolutely the loves of my life. And every decision that I make, I think about what would I do if this decision was made for my nephews? How would I react? How would I feel about it? And that they are just kind of my inspiration of why I do what I do. The picture on the right is a picture of them about 4 years ago at a family wedding, but they are just too cute. Gabe kind of shows his personality where he is Mr. Cool Man, and Asher is Mr. Excuse my French, hell on wheels, and that's just the way he is. But they both are very smart and just full of personality. So the person on the bottom left is my dad. He lives out in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska. No lie, you have to fly and then drive 6 hours to get to his house. That was me visiting him, not this past summer, but the summer before that. So I don't get to see him very often, but I definitely look like him. You can tell I don't necessarily look like my mother, but that is my family, and that is a little bit about me. So there was information that I put out where you fill out a Google form that will give me just some demographic information, where you work, what you do. We also are going to have weekly roundtable discussions that will be about the readings, anything else you want to talk about. I mean, I love talking about being a principal and answering questions, helping, whatever. I love pre-service anybody, so that's why I love teaching for the university. We need to decide when we are going to have those roundtable discussions, so I did put a Google form out there where it gave you 3 options, and hopefully we need more people to respond so that we can go ahead and get those set. So then I have the text readings, know your why. This is the assignment that verifies your enrollment for the university. So I look forward to a fantastic semester with you all. I am excited to see what you all can teach me. I always learn things from my students. I always believe that you can never stop learning, and I'm an open book. I've been an administrator now. This is if you count this is year 10 as principal. That means it's year 16 as an assistant principal, and that makes it year 21 as in education. I know I only look 12, so how can I have 21 years in education? But I'm 42 and I love my job. I love every day of it, even on these long hours when I should really be at home because I don't have sports. But I look forward to getting to know all of you and working with you this semester. Thanks so much. Have a great night.